Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to another Omega Insight. Before I begin, I want to remind you all that our website is now up and running www.theomegavector.org. And we are going to launch our first Omega 1 program since the pandemic. We're going to launch one. We're going to do it July 9th through the 11th. So if you are interested or if you'd like to have a friend of yours or family member attend, go to the website, go to the program section, and you can register right there. I'm very excited to get back into the classroom. Now, tonight's topic is about happiness. And I know many of us understand that happiness cannot be brought from outside. It always is as a product from within, which is quite true. I believe this to be true. However, we also know that outside events can affect our inner state of being. They can elevate us and bring us happiness. Any of you who've ever taken a risk, you have that elation of overcoming the fear and the sensation of like breathless, courageous, overwhelming, filled with energy once you take that risk. So we do know that the physical world and our interactions can bring us happiness. The questions that I want to pose to you tonight is to help us focus in on the things that do make us happy and the things that don't. And how can we focus and channel to ensure that we're cutting a path that will lead us towards happiness? The first question that it is what thing can you add to your life that would make you happy? There's those people who desire the car or a new house or redoing the bedroom or remodeling something, a new job perhaps. And that can make you happy. If you're stuck in a job that you don't like and you find a job that you love that you could be passionate about, of course that's going to make you happy. So that's one thing to consider. What thing can you bring into your life that will make you happy? Question number two follows along the same line. What person can you bring into your life that can make you happy? Is there a person who can make you happier? Of course, people who have significant others or soulmates, they say, best friends. And then some people who are searching for friends. There are people who don't have a lot of friends in their life and they're searching for that one person that have that click, that niche, that one that could read your thoughts and respond with you. Someone you could be quite content just sitting quietly with. I'm very grateful I had those hours, many, many hours sitting with George, just sitting, reading or meditating or going for a drive and being quite content just to be there. And that brought much happiness to me. So, again, what person can you bring into your life that would make you happy? The third question would be, is there anything in your life that you can remove that would make you happy? Again, alluding to my previous comment, if you have a job that you don't like and you remove it, perhaps that will bring you happiness. So, again, the concept is there something physically that you can remove, get it out of your life that will make you happy? For those of you who, I don't know, I don't want to use the word hoarders, but collect things. Maybe you have so much stuff and it's feeling overwhelming. Perhaps maybe if you start removing that, you'll feel a little lighter. I mean, that's the whole idea of purging. We could purge physically, emotionally, and mentally. So, purging, getting rid of things, can bring us happiness as well. And then, of course, number four, this connects to the same thought. Is there a person that you can purge from your life that will make you happy? And this is somewhere we get stuck sometimes. People who are in relationships, but they stay because they don't want to not be in a relationship, or people who stay because they're fearful of leaving their relationships. It's always difficult. Sometimes there's people who, want the divorce, but they don't want to deal with the consequences. So that's really the catch 22 there, I guess I can say. If you're going to go for the divorce or if you're going to leave your relationship and separate, you have to be able to have the courage to continue on with everything else that goes with that, the separation, separating items and friends, because friends take sides, and so family members do the same thing as well. And we have to be courageous enough to follow through with that. If we say this person is unhealthy for me, I need to step away, and stepping away would mean I'm going to lose X, Y, and Z, then we take that on as a commitment because we understand that in the end we are much healthier for it. Many addictions understand this. They're the false idea that the drug and the high is going to bring you happiness, and then we end up with the addiction running our lives, and we're doing everything we can to get the next high. That's not happiness. So eventually, an addict must say no and walk away and have the strength to be able to pull away from that circle, pull away from those friends, pull away from that lifestyle to be able to bring themselves to happiness. So that's something to consider there. Number 5 kind of goes along the same lines. Is your unhappiness, so I'll flip to unhappiness now. If your unhappiness from the way someone is treating you, are you experiencing unhappiness because of the treatment of another individual? This could be a boss, a coworker, a friend, a family member, a church member, could be anybody, a neighbor. So is those person's actions, is the actions of that individual causing you unhappiness? Or are they literally treating you in a manner that brings you unhappiness? Perhaps there's constant disdain or disapproval or remarks about little jabs trying to knock you down, the backhanded compliments that come our way at times. And this could be even physically or socially on social media. Social media is just amazing. I sometimes take a step back and think, I cannot believe people are so cruel. Well, if you've ever looked at comments, some of them are just like, "Rrr," and I don't understand what that anger is from and why people find joy in tearing another person down. I mean, logically, I understand by putting someone else down, you feel better about yourself, but do you really? That's the question I have. Anyway, the social comments, I've spoken about this before on how mean people are, and they flex their intimate muscles because no one sees them. So they could sit quietly and be the meanest, cruelest person in the world, type, 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 and feel secure that, no one can attack them. But anyway, so unfortunately, a lot of teen suicides because of cyberbullying comes into play. So that's a consideration. Is somebody mistreating you? And the hard thing here is, I know I'm going to step on a very sensitive subject here, but with cyberbullying, the hard thing is pull away, just disconnect. And that's hard because this generation is so addicted to the social media and the likes that it's very difficult to disconnect. There's a movie with Tom Hanks and Emma Watson. I think I've talked about this before, called The Circle, and pretty much talks about the effect of social media and how interactive we are and the likes and everything, and you get so wrapped up into it. But there's a character towards the end who finally just disconnects and says, no, I can't do this anymore, and just disconnects and goes back to her hometown, I think Scotland or something like that was. And she's much more peaceful because she's not always connected. And anyway, I know I got a little off subject there, but that's the same thing when you think about it, is there people who are treating you, mistreating you, and making you unhappy. And how unfortunate it is when we have people in our lives who are making us unhappy. And it seems like we're drawn to just trying to make them happier. And the more they treat us unfairly, the more we try to make them happier, which is a vicious cycle. So that's one thing. And then is your unhappiness, this number 6, is your unhappiness from comparing yourself to something or someone? Again, I'm going to go to social media here. How many times we're comparing ourselves to the way we look to other people? And I'm actually kind of pleased. Recently, I've been seeing a lot of ads on TV. Not that I watch a lot of TV, but when I on Netflix, not Netflix, but some of the other things like Hulu, you get the commercials involved. Probably not Hulu. I'm thinking the History Channel, I think. Anyway, regardless, I've been seeing ads for models and stuff, and the models aren't skinny anymore. They're like normal looking women or men, or maybe even a little heavy set. And, I'm kind of pleased with that because now we don't have to keep comparing ourselves to these incredibly, no way we're ever going to look like that person and make yourself feel not worthy enough. But we still do compare. We compare ourselves to something or someone. Again, an image in our mind or an actual person we're comparing ourselves. I want to say the word appalled, but that's probably not correct because that sounds judgmental. I'm astounded at the amount of people who are mesmerized by celebrities in Instagram. Like that's huge. And Instagram, the celebrities have so many followers and they eat every word they say and everything they do. And I'm not saying I'm not victim to this. I mean, I follow Garth Brooks and Tim McGraw. I love them. And Garth Brooks' wife. Oh, my mind is kind of Trisha Yearwood. I don't mind following them, but I'm not addicted to following them. And every once in a while, I'll see, oh, that's really nice, and I'll repost it. But there are people who thrive on that, and you're constantly comparing your life to their lifestyle. And maybe if I have a house that they have, or if I have the following that they have, I'll find happiness. And comparing, we know when we compare ourselves to others, we're never gonna find happiness. So this is a good question to ask yourselves to, again, recenter ourselves and bring ourselves back to the value of us rather than comparing ourselves to others. And finally, number 7, do you plan to be happier in the future? This is a very important question. Once we recognize that we're not happy, we have two paths. We can choose to continue not be happy and complain about not being happy, or we can do something about it and strive to be happy. And how do we strive to be happy? By answering the previous 6 questions and focus on the things that make us happy. It kind of is along the same lines as gratitude. Everything that comes to me, I can be grateful for. Even if it brings me pain, I can be grateful for it. It's an opportunity to rise above it. The same is true. If I recognize that I'm unhappy, well, then I can either choose to complain because I'm unhappy or find happiness and turn my attention to something that brings me happiness. I know I said it sounds easy. It's not, because we have this path in our brain that we have to contend with. But our heart knows the truth here, and our heart longs for happiness. If you think about your life, it sounded like a very definitive sentence there, so I apologize for that. I'm assuming our heart longs for happiness, and when we find happiness, our heart flutters and we feel happy. I was thinking about this when I thought about this topic today for happiness. I was thinking of those individuals who are incessantly happy. Every time you see them, they're always happy, they're always happy. And sometimes that's annoying. Like, and I think, why is that annoying? Well, it could be annoying because I wish I was that happy, or I'm judging them. I could be annoyed by that. And, or part of me thinks, well, maybe they're really not that happy and they're faking it. Like some things that goes through our mind when we think about people who are always happy. But I always come down to the final thought is I'm envious of that. I wish I could be happy all the time. I strive to be happy, and I know there's certain things that bring me happiness, and those are the things I strive for. And that's what we can do when we recognize I'm going to be happy in the future. Is that something I want to do? Of course. You'd have to ask that for yourself. But for me, yes, that's something I strive to do because I understand that being happy spreads happiness. And that's something I would like to do to bring to this planet. So thank you for joining me tonight on this evening as we're talking about happiness. Next Monday, we're going to talk about, make sure I have it, the negative source of happiness, which is a little thing to think about. There's a list of things that cause unhappiness. So it's going to tie into our subject today. So thank you for joining me this evening. I truly appreciate it. And I will look forward to seeing you next Monday. Bye now. Oh, and I forgot to say happy Memorial Day. And thank you to all of the men and women who served in the armed forces in the years past. And I have expressed gratitude for them. And, I'm thinking about people, when I think about Memorial Day, I think about people who fought in the Revolutionary War or the Civil War. And I guess that brings happiness to me, knowing that those people brought their lives gave their lives so that we can have the freedoms that we have. And I'm grateful. Happiness may be the right word, but I'm grateful for that. So I apologize I didn't bring that in the beginning. So happy Memorial Day to all of you. And those of you who have experienced loved ones who have passed, my gratitude towards you and your family. Have a good evening. Bye now.